I'm good. Nice to talk to you guys, Rick, you as well. I'm excited about the whole thing. So.
Awesome, Sharrod. Well, thank you. And we're excited about talking to you. What a ride that you've had getting from out of high school, not going to school right away, working a couple jobs to save your pennies, to get into college, to play football, to where you are right now, having pro days, visiting with NFL teams. I'll start with the latter first. What was it like visiting the Miami Dolphins? I know they had their local visit this week. What was it like seeing the hometown team?
Oh, it was a great experience. They have a great facility down there. We got to go down there. I got to compete against, a lot of great talent down here in South Florida. Guys from FIU, UM, and then local guys from the area that, went elsewhere and played college ball and came back and, they got to go there as well and compete. And it was fun. I got to work with the coaches. It was more football. We did a lot of drills. We moved around a lot, and then I got to go up and meet with the coaches one-on-one after, so it was a great experience.
Sharrod, there are lots of kids that grow up dreaming about playing in the NFL, but there's such a thing as dreaming with your feet on the ground. What are the steps that you've taken since you left high school to make sure that you give yourself the best chance to have this opportunity?
Well, first of all, I'm out of high school. I wasn't recruited at all by any D1 schools. So I took it upon myself to, reach out to schools. I made a highlight, reached out to multiple, D1 schools in Florida, with just a dream of an opportunity, to get on the team, walk on and play for them. So I reached out to a bunch of schools. FAU was one of my biggest choices, the school I wanted to go to the most. I reached out to a bunch of schools. It didn't really, I guess, I just was finding emails online, contacting different coaches, trying to get a shot. And it didn't really work out. I guess, thousands of kids do the same thing every year, trying to, get their name out there and get a shot at playing for a Division I football program. So I did that. It didn't work out. I actually got on a good family friend of mine, Jack Daniels. He's a head coach down at Dwight High School. He got me in touch with the FAU recruiting coordinator at the time, was Jeff Sims. He brought me in, and they ended up giving me that opportunity. I had to walk on, and from there, it's just, I've just done what I had to do to get to where I am now from there.
Now, Sharrod, during that time you were out of high school to college, you worked 2 jobs from what I understand. What were those jobs? How hard was that when you're trying to balance getting back in school, training for football, and also punching a clock?
Mm-hmm. Well, it was difficult. I knew what I had to do. I knew I was going to come on, I was going to have to walk on, and I was going to have some money to pay for school. Not knowing how long I was going to have to pay for school, so me wanting to play ball, at a Division I college level, I had to do what I had to do. So I was training, I was staying in shape, I was working out, and I was also working 2 jobs. One was the night shift at FedEx, so it was like I think 3 a.m. to about 8 a.m. And then after that, I'd go work, and I worked in retail at the mall. The mall is right across the street from my house, like right around the corner. So I worked at the mall in this retail store, PacSun.
All right, so let's treat this like a job interview here, all right, Sharrod? You want to play for my team. I'm a general manager in the NFL. What are you going to tell me I'm going to see when I turn on the film and watch you play?
Well, when you turn on the film, you're going to see me running around, getting to the ball. You're going to see a player who knows defense well. You'll see me orchestrating our defense. You'll see me getting to the ball. You'll see me covering the field well. Just working hard. Every play, you'll see me trying to get to the ball, trying to, help make a play to help my team win the game.
Would you consider yourself a box safety or more of a free safety?
I wouldn't limit myself to neither. I can play in the box. My junior year, I actually played nickelback, and it was a nickelback converted into like a linebacker. As the season went on, I was basically that guy that stayed in, like a hybrid linebacker, nickelback. I stayed in our base packages most of the time as the season went on. So I can play. I just like defense. I can play any defensive back position, and so I wouldn't limit myself to neither.
Now, Sharrod, you moved from corner to safety your final year at FAU in 2015. What was that transition like, and how much did it help having that cornerback experience when you see the game one way and then you move it to safety and bring that over with you?
It was very helpful. I can tell you safety is a lot different from corner / nickelback. You playing in more space. You coming downhill is more involved in the run. It's not, you don't really have a set responsibility. Me being that free quarter player most of the time, you just react. You run to the ball. You don't have any type of run set. You just, get to the ball and make a play. So it's just reaction and awareness, and then being back deep, you got to be able to cover a large amount of field, and then you got to be able to come up on the run and make a tackle in open space. So it's very different, but it did help me when we are in man-to-man and I'm the down safety and I'm playing man-to-man on someone. I think I play man-to-man real well because I was once a corner. So, that's how the corner has helped me transition.
Has Florida Atlantic already had their pro day?
Yes.
And how did you do?
I did well. Our pro day was March 31st. I did well. I think I went out and I showed my explosiveness, my speed and quickness. I think I moved real well, and I showed the scouts what they wanted to see for the most part.
Excellent. And of course, you also had a chance to shine earlier this year when you were going to be you were at one college all-star game, and then you get the invite to the NFLPA game, and you got to work with Darrell Green all week, obviously the Hall of Fame cornerback of the Washington Redskins, one of the very best to ever play. What was that whole experience like back in January?
Oh, that experience was very good. I had a lot of fun. I got to compete against a lot of players from all over the country. A lot of good players. I got the chance to be coached by some Hall of Famer, like you said, Darrell Green. I learned all different defenses. My defense-based defenses are quarters. We play some cover three. More cover three. Play some different variations of like man a different way. So, just being able to be coached by different coaches and learning different schemes and stuff like that. It was a great experience. I got to learn a lot for sure.
Now, there's life after football, right?
Yes.
I'm just making sure. So what if this doesn't work out? If you don't get in, I'm not going to say that you won't, because you sound like a determined young man. But what does life after football look like for you? What are you planning to do when your playing days are done?
Well, my playing days are done. I pretty much plan to go back to Bradenton, where I'm from, and just coach there or help out, maybe, be athletic director or something. Just make sure the kids aren't overlooked. I think in my area where I'm from, especially when I was back in school, a lot of talent went overlooked. And, kids don't always have the determination that I did and stuck out with it and, pursued my dreams no matter, what the obstacle was. And I think if I can go back and, tell my story and encourage those kids and try to get their name out there so that, they get the opportunity that I had, and not, fall back on, a alternative plan. So I think if I could go back there and help those kids out, I think that'll satisfy my post-football, goals and dreams.
Well, yeah, that, and you'll have your mechanical engineering degree that you're getting in May. Also, right. I mean, I think that's a neat story too, Sharrod, because if I'm not mistaken, I believe you were told that, by your academic advisor, sort of warning you, this is a pretty tough major if you're going to be playing athletics. You didn't care. You wanted to get it done, and you were on the verge of graduating in May with a mechanical engineering degree from FAU. That is an awesome accomplishment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then when I went into college, I thought to myself, if I'm going to go through 4 years of college, I'm gonna, do a major that was worthwhile, and that would have, not knowing what everything was gonna become in my freshman year. And yeah, my advisor did tell me that, and she did. She just said, from experience, I don't really recommend you going, especially as a football player, knowing how time consuming it is. And I knew that before I even decided what I was gonna have to do, how tough it was gonna be, and I had already made up my mind. So what she said didn't deter me at all, and I stuck through it, and then here I am now, about to finish out and graduate with a mechanical engineering degree. So
we can't congratulate you enough. I want to ask this last question. Who has been the most influential person? Because obviously you have a lot of intestinal fortitude, right? You find a way to get things accomplished despite the hurdles and so forth. Who has been the most influential person that you've leaned on or met during all this process of trying to achieve your dreams?
Well, my family, first and foremost, my family. I'm a God-fearing man, so I keep my faith in God. My mom, she's always supported me from the beginning. Anything I wanted to do, I had a bunch of people asking me during that time from high school to college. They always ask, "Are you still trying to play football?" Like, a year had gone by, like, "Oh, you still want to play football?" Like, kind of suggesting that I moved on, but my mom always knew what I wanted to do, and she always supported me with what I wanted to do. So I would say my mom was the most influential person in my life.
That is awesome. And now you can go home, too, because if you didn't say her, forget it. You're
you passed the test. That was just a test right there, Sharrod.
Yeah, that's it.
Nice
exactly.
work there, Bev.
Nice job, Sharrod.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Hey, follow this young man on Twitter at RodTakeFlight. Sharrod Neasman, thank you so much, and we'll be following your journey into the NFL. Really appreciate the time.
Thank you, Rick and Alex. I appreciate you guys as well.